Hi, this is Chad with Be Gone for Good. Today we're going to be talking about 3 things that everyone gets wrong about motorcycles until they get one. Stay tuned. Alright, today we're going to be talking about 3 things everyone gets wrong about motorcycles until they have one, and maybe a couple that they don't know about at all. Before we get to the video, I want to say a couple of things. My last video about the top 3 reasons to avoid the CB500X, you can see it here, got a ton of feedback, tons of comments. I got a bunch of subscribers from it. I really appreciate everybody who got involved in that and talked to me and left comments. It was a great experience, and I will continue to put out videos that hopefully get people engaged in that way. I also want people to know that we're approaching the 500 mark very, very quickly here, and I want to get some free gear out to you. We have Be Gone for Good t-shirts, we've got Be Gone for Good stickers, but I can't do anything here on YouTube. Leave a picture of yourself, leave a picture of your bike, a landscape, some travel that you've done on my Instagram page. You can find that at Be Gone for Good Moto, Be Gone for Good Moto. Leave your name out there, follow the page, and I will make sure to go through a couple of drawings when we hit 500 and get some t-shirts and stickers out to you guys. I just can't believe the response, and it's been awesome to see everybody come in, and I really appreciate it. So go over to the Instagram page and we'll make sure to get some stuff out to you. One of the first things you're going to hear when you decide that you want to start riding a motorcycle is it's too dangerous. And although riding a bike is 20 to 30% more likely to kill you than a car, there are plenty of very practical steps you can take to reduce that risk greatly. Let's go through some of those right now. First off, don't drink. That seems easy enough. And 30% of fatal accidents year over year show that alcohol was a contributing factor, with the rider's blood alcohol level being above 0.08. That's legally drunk in most states in America, and the UK isn't a whole lot different. So for our first tip on how to stay safer on the bike, don't drink while you're riding. Ugh, you're such a stick in the mud. If you're gonna drink, leave the bike at home. If you're gonna take the bike, don't drink. It's that simple. For number 2, wear a helmet. In 2015, 40% of motorcycle fatalities occurred with riders who weren't wearing helmets. If you go through state by state with the states that have helmet laws and the states that don't, the numbers are staggering. In helmet law states, fatalities drop significantly as opposed to the states that don't have any helmet laws. And that has to be because guys just aren't wearing their buckets. If you want to stay safer on a bike, get a helmet, wear it every time. This is an easy one. Next up, speeding. 34% of the accidents, the fatal accidents that occur year over year, occur with riders that are speeding. Now, speeding in this circumstance is a little bit different. Speeding qualifies as any time the investigative officer of that fatal accident determines that racing was involved or conditions didn't warrant the speed that was traveled, or if tickets were provided for anything that was over the posted limit. And generally, this is in the 5 to 10 range. So this isn't just somebody doing 41 and a 40, this is excessive rates of speed on a bike, which just leads to problems. If you want to stay safer on a bike, drop your speed. Even 1 mile an hour helps you exponentially in your life-saving capabilities. It provides you more time to brake, provides you better vision as far as what's going on in front of you, makes it easier for other cars to see you, and you don't sneak up on them as much. Guys, if you want to stay alive, bring that speed down. All right, for our last tip to make a bike less dangerous, know your bike and get training. These are the 2 sides of any good motorcyclist's survivability rate. First off, in terms of knowing your bike, did you know that ABS is credited with a 31% decrease in fatal accidents? Secondly, more than half of the accidents occur with riders who have less than 5 months on the accident bike and less than 3 years total. That just shows how important it is to know the bike that you're on, know how it works, and understand your best capabilities on that bike as well. Training is also important. In more than 2/3 of the accidents that occur with just single vehicle, with just you and your bike, rider error is generally to blame, with either over-braking or going too hot into a curve being major causes. If you want to greatly reduce the danger on your bike, learn the limitations both of the bike and your skill in an environment with a lot less at stake, like the track. Studies show that motorcyclists that have experience and training in the dirt are far less likely to be in accidents on the road. Now that covers the things that you can control on the bike to make it less dangerous, but obviously there's other people out on the road with you. So here's a few practical tips that can help you adjust for them as well. More than half of the fatal accidents that occur are with another vehicle, and more than 3/4 of those all occur from the front. One of our biggest danger areas is obviously intersections, with vehicles turning left in front of us, and this can happen for a few different reasons. Number one, the left-handed car doesn't even see us. Now Ryan F9 has a great video about invisibility in motorcycles and this phenomenon of vehicles not seeing us. I'll leave the link below if you haven't seen it before so you can check it out. Number two, our size and speed make it very difficult for other vehicles to gauge our location. We only complicate matters when we snap out around vehicles or pass with speed. Anything along those lines make the other vehicles in the area more likely to get into accidents with us. It's important that we start looking at intersections as our major cause of fatalities, because it is. As you come near an intersection, slow down. Gauge what everybody's doing, make sure you're keeping your eyes open, and don't make any sort of erratic movements, because that is your danger spot. That is your number one goal, is to get through that intersection before anything else. The second thing you're going to hear a lot when you start talking about riding a bike is it's uncomfortable or boring. Now you have to understand there's a big difference between being on a bike and being in a climate-controlled leather wraparound seats, a Bose sound system. Those are two different vehicles, but there are enough modifications that you can make to a bike to really increase your enjoyment, from where you put your pegs to padded seats to raising or lowering the seat and raising and lowering the handlebars. All of these things make for a more comfortable ride, and I, for one, have never really been uncomfortable on a bike. Luckily, I've had bikes that I get about an hour and a half, 2 hours before I have to stop for gas. At that time, I can get off and get my legs loose, stretch my back a little bit, and get back to more comfortable places. When it comes to boredom, there are going to be times, I'll admit it, I've gotten a little drowsy behind the handlebars in southern Texas with the heat bearing down on me. But as long as you stay engaged with what you're doing and understand not only the danger element, but also the joy of riding and how much of your senses are being engaged all the time. Along with that, there's headsets now that you can play music in and audiobooks and talk to somebody on the phone if you need to. I find it hard to believe that anybody could be bored on a modern day bike cruising along on these American streets. The third thing you'll hear when you start talking about riding a motorcycle is you can't ride in the rain. The weather's going to get to you. Not true. In fact, one of my favorite things to do while riding these days is riding in the rain. It's just a totally different experience. It keeps you more engaged, it makes the ride more interesting, and the looks you get from other passengers is pretty cool too. It's not actually a whole lot more dangerous to be riding in the rain, as it's only credited with about 2% increase in accidents. As long as you're willing to slow down and recognize that you might not be as visible for other vehicles, riding in the rain shouldn't be a problem for you at all. Those are my 3 things everybody gets wrong about motorcycling. Here are the 2 that you might not even know about. Countersteering. This is going to be your bread and butter as a motorcyclist. There's a great movie out there. Called Twist of the Wrist 2. You can find it on YouTube. It talks all about countersteering, the physics that are behind it, and how important it is to you turning and being able to get where you want to go. There's also another video out there, I'll leave the link below, a rider who didn't use countersteering properly and it ended up really badly for him. Please watch these videos, please check them out. Understand that countersteering is the difference between turning the bars left to go left and pressing the bar left to go left. It sounds counterintuitive, it sounds like it goes against everything that makes sense, but what you actually want to do to turn left is push the bar, not pull it. It may not make sense to you right now. If you're not a rider, it's not something that you can test out, but believe me, get on a straightaway and just real simply press a little bit on either side. Feel that bike lean as you do it and understand that's how your turn is created. That is how you get the bike to lean over and begin its turning process. It will be very important to make this part of your habit ritual because of the fact that when it comes down to an emergency maneuver, you won't have time to think about this. It just has to be the way your body understands it. It has to be the way that you move. This will make your bike a lot less dangerous as well if you understand countersteering. You can find the links for Twist of the Wrist 2 and that accident video down below. The second factor that you might not be aware of is called object fixation or target fixation. This has everything to do with where your eyes are on the road. Oftentimes we notice obstacles. We notice the things that we don't want to hit, the things that we don't want to run over, and our eyes gravitate towards them. So you look at the pothole that you don't want to hit or the rock. And as you do that, your bike naturally gravitates towards it. You tend to ride where your eyes go. So it's important to avoid object fixation. Now, one of the greatest things I've found to practice this is as you're going down a long road and you see those little tar snakes that they put in to cover cracks. Try avoiding them by looking at the road next to them. Try avoiding them by looking at a clear path. Keep your eyes on the clear path that you want to travel, not on the things that you want to avoid. Practice this in an area where it's okay if you hit the items that you're looking at. It's okay if you run over the bumps in the road. It's okay if you run over that painted line. Try doing it in places where the risk is almost negligible. That's the important way to practice this, but you will find that as you get better at watching your path that you want to travel instead of the obstacles in your path, your riding will improve and you can be a lot safer on the bike. That wraps up the 3 things that I think everybody gets wrong about motorcycling until they're on there, plus those 2 little extras. If you like what you're seeing here, and I hope that you do, please subscribe to the channel, help us out, let us know. You can click that thumbs up button or the bell icon if you want to get notifications for everything we're doing here. We've got big trips planned for later this year, some of them still kind of in flux, so we'll get that word out to you as well. I want to thank all of my subscribers that are out there for passing this information forward, for talking to your friends about it. We've seen our subscribers jump significantly over the past couple of weeks, and it's all thanks to you guys. So I really appreciate it. If you have any questions for me, feel free to get in touch with me at chad@begoneforgood.com. That's chad@begoneforgood.com. I'll answer anything I can or leave a comment below if you like. Thank you very much for watching.